Okay, and we are live. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Pinoyathletics Speed Talk Saturday with Enzo Williams from Australia. We're mainly going to discuss the Pinoyathletics Mindanao Track League, which kicks off again tomorrow at Batuan, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning Philippine time. The events being held as men's 100, men's 1500, women's 100, and women's 1500. Just a short number of events, just due to the fact that we weren't able to push through with other planned meet in Pagadian due to the fact that the athletes there are just not prepared for the meet. They haven't done enough training, so we've had to delay that meet. We're also in contact with various networks around the Philippines in places like Lingayen, Iloilo, Bacolod, and of course Pagadian and other parts of Mindanao, also Cebu, putting up more legs of our small meets, which are being rolled out in preparation for the Philippine National Championships, tentatively in September. So that's mainly the rundown on that. We haven't got any further meets confirmed, but we will be popping them up piece by piece, bit by bit, rolling the athletics out to the community. And I'm just getting messages now for updates. So Ernest Obiena will be competing in June by the looks of things. It's looking good in training. In preparation for those Olympic Games. No athletes actually raced this weekend. I mean, Christina Knott ran in Italy. She ran second behind the 2017 world bronze medalist in the 100 meters, Marie Jose Talou of the Ivory Coast. They were both wind-assisted runs. Talou ran 10.96 and Knott ran 11.30. And in the 200, it was 22.88 to 23.19. So there was a 4-meter tailwind in the 100 and a 4.9-meter tailwind in the 200. And Christina Knott will have a meet in Florida on the 31st of May at the end of the month. So no racing this weekend. There's also no races reported from any Phil American athletes this weekend. It's been a rather quiet weekend. On the 26th of May, however, there is the West NCAA Championships, which has athletes like Kara Moran. I'm not sure if it might have the Richardsons. The Richardsons may be competing there, and Shiloh Nelson. So these athletes are all, Nelson and Moran are still chasing the SEA Games qualifying standards in the women's throwing events. Both the Richardsons, Kayla and Kyla, have ran 11.65, which is under the 11.66 qualification for the 100-meter dash in the SEA Games. So Patafa will have to pick between one of those two to be in the 100 meters with Christina Knott after they also hit the bronze qualifying standards for that. Now, this is just going to be a short, quick session. What else have I got? Oh, yeah, updates in Vietnam. Sources are saying that the Vietnamese have already started immunizing their athletes. They're really rolling out their vaccines, and they've gotten a lot of help from the private sector who have come to the rescue and put money in towards these vaccinations, which are rolling out amongst the athletes in Vietnam. From Thailand, I've been keeping track of their sprinters, having 60 and 250-meter time trials at their brand new stadium in Bangkok. The sprinters are training in full swing at the moment. I saw from some videos. In Indonesia, SEA Games champion Maria Londa leapt 6:33 in their trials, and next month, at the end of June, the Indonesians will be going over to Almaty with about 15 athletes in different events, including Londa, Emelianova, and the long jumper Saputaraman. They're all entered to compete at the Kwazanov Memorial in Kazakhstan about a month from now. So that's the situation with Indonesia, with Vietnam and Thailand. Singapore is having its all-comers meet next month. They've been doing all-comers meets once a month, so Singapore has that coming up. And then with Malaysia, no updates on meets at the moment, but our good friend from AdrianSprints.com, Jad Adrian, he's written a very good article on the research article on the correlation between jumps, depth between explosive jumps and sprint times, which I need to really have a read of this weekend when I get some time, because it's very useful material for any sprint coach, that sort of research that Jad does there over in Malaysia. So then that leaves us with, so we've already covered Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Singapore's situation in athletics. So that now leaves the Philippines. As of now, the athletes have not been vaccinated. They're looking at, like having a training camp in Baguio, which the mayor of Baguio is fully behind, but they still need to await IATF approval to the PSC before that can even roll through, as is the case. Now, moving on to the meet in Butuan tomorrow, we wish all our competitors a safe and productive competition tomorrow at Poly Sports in Butuan. That will kick off at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we will have some updates on that tomorrow. So this track talk is just going to be short. It's not going to be over 30 minutes. In fact, it might not even be half that. So yeah, Butuan tomorrow, we have the men's 100 meters. In the men's 100 meters, we have, despite the fact, the Kage Enduro team has pulled out because of, COVID travel restrictions. And despite that, this meet will still push through, and we have we have a decent amount of entries. Last time we had 11 entries in the men's 100. This time we have 12. So we have 2 solid heats of action tomorrow, which will kick off at 8:15. We start off at 7 o'clock tomorrow with the men's 1500 meters with 7 entries, with the time to chase 4:07, because the reason why 4:07 is the magic number here is because at the moment, the top qualifier for the SEA Games is Yasin Gumali, who just ran a Philippine record of 3:43. And then the next ranked athlete after that, due to the lack of races, is SEA Games bronze medalist Mariano Massano, SEA Games silver medalist Mariano Massano, who's run 4:08.29. So we need to go under 4:08.29 to get that second spot. So that's the target for tomorrow, is to go under 4:08 for the winner. And we may offer a bonus incentive for breaking that SEA Games qualification time of 4:08.29. Initially, the bronze medal is 4:08.86 or 4:08 something higher, but that's no longer the SEA Games qualification time because 2 athletes have already gone past it. So now the SEA Games qualification is the silver from last SEA Games, which is the rank 2 in the rankings of what's his name, of Mr. Massano. So we're looking at going under that 4:08 tomorrow. So in the women's 1500, there are 3 entries in the race, including like a Sarmiento, a multi UAAP medalist running in the 1500. So there are 3 or 4 entries in the women's. We have, as I said, after the conclusion of the men's 15 and the women's 15, at around 8:15 will be the men's 100 meters, which is the heats. There'll be 2 heats and 2 heats of action. And the first heat will be Christian Evanoso, who got the silver on the 24th at our previous Batawan meet, and he ran a PB of 11:22 in the finals. So he's one to watch out for in the first heat, with 6 entries. It'll be pretty competitive first heat. I mean, I've drawn the heats fairly evenly. There's 4 guys in that first heat running in the 11s and 2 in the 12s. Second heat has the top 2 guys in it, due to the late entry of Kenneth Pakulba of Tagum Davao del Norte, who has a personal best of 11:02, and he's the bronze medalist from the last UAAP, which was ever held in 2018. So as you can see, it's been nearly 3 years since we've had a UAAP, and at the last UAAP in 2018, Kenneth Pakulba took the bronze with a time of 11:02, and matching up in that first heat with Pakulba. So the 2 fastest guys are in the second heat. With Pakulba is Jerome Sarinas, a former MVP in the UAAP in the juniors, and bronze medalist in the National Open in the 400 hurdle. So more than a 400 hurdler, but Jerome Sarinas did get the edge over Evanoso on the 24th of April when he won the 100 meters in a personal best of 11:17. So it'll be a very interesting final, and we'll look to see if somebody can get pushed to that sub 11 mark in the in the final. If someone's going to tickle that sub 11 in the final, which will be very interesting if it does happen. As only what's his name? As how do I say this? Yeah, so only Nolan Crespo has ran under 11 seconds. He's run 10:76 and 10:88 this year. So no one else has run under 11 the last 2 years due to lack of meets. So it'll be interesting to see if someone can join Nolan Crespo in that sub 11 club for the last 2 years. So that's the men. The women's is a straight final of 6 women. Leanne Pamela is not starting due to the travel restrictions from CDO. So we have the silver medalist and the bronze medalist from last time, Cabanillas and Duran, who will be battling it out with another good athlete who did not join last time. So there's 6 women dueling it out. And then after that, we'll have our finals at around 9:15. So that's all we've got for tonight. It's unfortunately not very much news. There's not much is going on in terms of athletics, and in the States, it's been very quiet as well, as no one's really competed, as they're all going for the meets, on the 26th, the West NCAA, the big West NCAAs, and of course, Christina not competing on the 31st. So that's effectively all the news I have for now. Obviously, I've been busy coaching and other stuff, trying to navigate around this COVID thing, getting vaccinated in the next couple of weeks. So, again, thank you everybody for tuning in, and that's all for now. Okay.